If you want, I can give you a sign with my hand up that you have 1 minute left.
I don't think we can see that, Frans, because usually the camera focuses on whoever's talking.
Okay. But the hand you should be able to see with a little sign.
Well, then we'll make the presentation nice and quick and easy.
10 minutes starting now.
Okay, well, this is our presentation presented by Sophie, Claudia, Monica, unfortunately isn't here today, me, Joris, Nino, and Max Reker. We're going to talk about our global citizenship activity. We first looked at the different systems for global citizenship in the Netherlands and Italy. In the Netherlands, usually for global citizenship, you always work in projects, albeit about architecture or cuisine or flags, usually centered around a main subject, and then explored quite deeply into that one subject, again, within a project form of matter. In Italy, the global citizenship activities are drawn from the Sustainable Development Goals of the EU. They have partnered, they have looked at the 2030 agenda and picked different ideas out of that agenda. They also complied with the new law for civic education, which requires 33 hours a year of civic education in all forms of different subject matters.
And that was just talking about the general global citizenship projects. And now we're going to talk about the project we have thought of, which is a travel agency project. And you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? That's on the next slide. The main goal of this activity is to get to know your assigned country. And we'll talk about the countries that we've thought of. And it's based around the last year of elementary school. So kids from 10 to 11 years old. They need to gather some online information, so they need some searching skills. They will be working together in groups, and they will need to have some presenting skills because they will present their findings to the class.
Yes, so each group will need pens and papers to realize their final poster. They'll need computers, so each group will have a computer, and each group will sign in for the appropriate websites to work on to search the information they'll need to research for the country they'll be assigned to. So the countries that they will have to, the teachers will assign each group one of the country, and the countries are Italy, the Netherlands, Egypt, Japan, Russia, and Australia.
To be able to make sure that the students grasp what they have to do instead of just shoving in their face that, this is what we're going to do, good luck, have fun. We decided on some metrics, some rubrics. Children have to include the flag, cuisine, which means cultural foods. For example, in Italy, that would be spaghetti, lasagna, I don't know, pizza, something like that. They have to include something about the history of the country. We haven't completely decided which part yet, because you could talk about how the country was founded or how did it come to be the country it is today. Then there's language. I mean, that speaks for itself pretty much. There's culture. What's culture? I mean, cinema, language, pretty much everything included in there. There's architecture. I mean, Tower of Pisa in Italy, for example. And lastly, there's geography, which means unique geographic things that you can only find there.
Yeah, so the activity will be made in small groups, maximum 3 students, and they get an envelope with their names on it, the country, and the questions they have to answer. They write down all the information they found for the questions, and they categorize the information. Then they put it in a poster because they have to present it to the whole class, and the fellow students give feedback on their presentation.
And lastly, there's things that we look for in the presentations. I mean, the children, of course, develop their L2 capability, for example. This is shown in both the presenting skills, but also how they find this information, because they, of course, have to search in English, maybe even another language, depending on what country it is that you do the presentation about. We want to make sure that every member contributes just about equally. Of course, it's pretty hard because normally in groups there's leaders, there's followers, and the balance is pretty much always not exactly even, but we try to do that as much as possible. And we want them to answer all of the questions in such a manner that it's actually interesting.
Then that will be our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really interesting and inspiring. Yeah. Thanks.
Try cider.